All right, Anthony, I'm going to show you one of the biggest miracles in magic, one thing that all magicians strive to achieve perfectly. It's called any card at any number. All right, it's a very simple trick, but it's kind of a miracle. So the first step is I need to shuffle these cards, but I need you to believe that they are genuinely shuffled. So I will do whatever you want me to do to prove to you that these cards are shuffled. Okay, I'll show you to start that these cards are all different and in no order. But again, I need you, whatever you want me to do to convince you that these cards are genuinely shuffled.
Like shuffle them like at least twice in front of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How about you give me like a number of cards to like deal off the top or something, and I'll do some sort of mix.
Okay, 11 cards.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's no way I could have known you would have said that. I'll shuffle more. All right, how many do you want?
3.
1, 2, 3.
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So I could really just mix these up. Are you convinced? That's what matters. Are you convinced that there's no way I can have control or know where any cards are in this deck?
I am convinced.
All right, Anthony. So, like I said, any card, any number, really simple. All you need to do is name any card that you want.
Okay. Jack of Spades.
Jack of Spades. All right, perfect. Now, the next step is for you to name any number from 1 to 52. Now, I'll be honest, this trick is kind of boring if you pick a small number. It's a lot more interesting if you pick a big number, because if you pick like 15, for example, it's kind of like 1, 2, 3, 15, and the trick's over. But up to you. 1 to 52, what do you want?
42.
All right, I usually don't get them that high, but that's perfect. All right, I'm going to do this as fair as I can. You said 42. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So far, so good.
Yeah.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. What was the number you said again?
42.
24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. 42nd card. Was that fair?
Yeah, that was fair.
We haven't seen the Jack of Spades yet.
Don't think so.
I don't think so. So as long as it's not any one of these cards, then the 42nd card should be the Jack.
Oh my God. What the goodness.
Anthony, buddy, we nailed it.
Jesus.
That is the miracle. Any card, any number. And if you were here, I would have let you do that shuffling at the beginning. What is good, guys? It is Reed, and welcome back to a super special video. Today we got an any card, any number. I know, super exciting, almost as exciting as this lovely studio background. I'm sorry, guys, I just keep moving around so much these days and I haven't been able to settle, but hopefully come September-ish, I should be able to have a nicer little studio setup. I'm literally temporary backgrounds every single day, but that doesn't matter. Let's get into the juicy part of the video. We have an any card, any number, and this is something awesome. You can see from the performance just how clean this is, how incredible this is. This is something I call MARCAAN. And you'll see why very, very shortly. Now, if you guys know anything about me and the style of magic I like to do, create and teach, it is practical. It can be done anytime, anywhere, and I don't really like to use any gimmicks. So this does fit that category. There's just one little thing you will need to perform this, and I'm sure as magicians we all have this thing lying around somewhere. This is one of the cleanest any card, any numbers that I know. It's a great magician fooler because the method is obscure and unique and not one that I have seen anywhere. Just to give you guys a little bit of history on this any card, any number, I came up with it while watching another magician perform an any card, any number, and I thought this was the method they were using. It's actually something that had come to me in the past, but I never thought it was doable. Then I saw that performance, thought that's how they were doing it, found out they weren't doing it that way. And then I started actually thinking that this method could be feasible, playing around with it and ironing it out. So this method is absolutely awesome. One of the best ACAANs I think you will ever learn, just because of its practicality, really. There's no stack, no setup. The deck is shuffled by the spectator. It is really that good. Now, if you recognize that performance, it's because I had put this performance out probably close to a year ago, and it got incredible feedback, and people were floored at this cleanliness of this ACAAN. Then I put out another ACAAN a little bit while later that looked very similar, just as clean, and then I actually taught that one. You can go check that out. It's called ACAAN. But that one, I'd say, was a bit of a controversial video. It was more of an exercise to show how we can use new mediums such as video to our advantage as an actual method to create incredibly clean effects, and how magicians, we shouldn't dismiss some of these techniques, and then sort of to look at effects from a layman's point of view, and how cleanliness honestly is only a thing that's important to magicians. We can do a very easy any card, any number, and to a layman it'll come off just as clean as the cleanest holy grail any card, any number, right, if done correctly. So that was kind of the point of that video. I know most people aren't really going to use that method because it's not practical and it's more of a social media kind of thing, but I think it's a really interesting video. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you check it out, because there's a lot of neat theory that goes into it, and I think the method, the dual reality, is just absolutely beautiful. Anyway, this any card, any number is absolutely a worker, practical, something you can do. So I know I've been talking way too much, as Miami would say, if any of you know Miami. Been fucking talking too much. Let's get into it. This is MARCAAN. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me start by showing you guys another performance of this effect. I just want to show you that it really does work, can work every single time. So I'll give the deck some shuffles. These can actually be done by the spectator if you're actually performing. We can give it a wash. Really change the order, flip some cards over if we want, and really get everything completely mixed, and the spectator can shuffle as much as they want, and when they are satisfied they will hand the deck to you, and we'll give the deck a cut just like that. Now we'll use a random card generator to generate a card. Let's get the 4 of diamonds, and we will ask Siri for a random number. Name a random number from 1 to 52.
It's 47.
47 and the 4 of diamonds. So we start dealing through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. What was the number? 47, right? Yeah, okay. 45, 46. And the 47th card I will set right there. And if we look just like that, we should have the 4 of diamonds. So guys, that is the effect. That is MARCAAN. And now, to give you a little hint as to the method and the one little thing you will need to perform this effect, we will explain where the name comes from. Well, MARCAAN, marked any card, any number. So you do need a marked deck for this effect. That is the only thing you need. Otherwise, everything is completely normal shuffled deck of cards. Now, I know a lot of magicians these days just perform with a marked deck anyway. So if that's your case, you'll be fine. Or you just, pick up a marked deck, or you do this effect when you have a marked deck around. That's kind of when I do it, when I have a marked deck around. Or if I want to sort of fool magicians, I'll bring out a very inconspicuous marked deck, such as the Boris Wilde marked deck, and I will get into it. So essentially the method here involves a couple of cool little things, along with a tiny bit of risk that we can easily mitigate with a simple out if it does in fact go wrong. and we also take advantage of the markings on the deck and a second deal. How this effect works is essentially we genuinely have the deck shuffled by the spectator, right? And this reminds me of a sort of Walter Scott kind of idea, right? You remember hearing that he would do that trick where he'd be blindfolded any deck of cards that could be shuffled, and he would deal to the aces or deal a full house is what he often did. And his method for that is he would have the cards marked with little markings that he could feel, right? So as he's going through, he'd be dealing, and then he'd locate an ace, and then he'd start maybe second dealing or bottom dealing to maintain that ace on top of the deck. So this kind of got me thinking, well, could we do that visually with a marked deck, right? Could we track a card from a genuinely shuffled deck as we're dealing, and then adjust accordingly once we locate that card? And I thought this could be great for an any card, any number. So that's exactly how we're going to utilize this here. Now, there's a bunch of important ideas and subtleties that I do to make this look convincing and allow you to actually achieve this. So the first thing we need to talk about is, in fact, the marked deck that you will be using. Now, I always like to use one of the bicycle different marked decks, or plenty of them, because they blend in with the decks that I use anyway, which are bicycle decks when I perform. Now, any marked deck theoretically will work, but you do want to keep some things in mind. You do have to be able to read the markings fairly quickly, right? You have about this much time. So if you're dealing at this pace, that's about maybe 2 seconds to get a glimpse and make your decision on if you're going to deal that card or not. So the reason I love the Boris Wildmark deck is because the markings are along the edge here, so it's visible very easily. The other great thing is they are separated by suit. So the second the spectator names the suit, I know either to focus here, 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 or here, depending. So it's in chased order: clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. And now if they say a heart, I know I just have to look at my eyes here. And most of the cards I dismiss because there's no marking here as to the value, right? It's positionally marked based on the suit. So that saves me a lot of time, and why I think this is probably the best deck to use for that. This is available at many of your favorite Magic retailers: Penguin Magic, the Boris Wildmark deck, fantastic mark deck, very legible. So in this case with the 2 of diamonds, we have clubs, hearts, spades, and diamonds. So down there, I don't know if you can make that out, but there is a 2 right down there. So that indicates 2 of diamonds, which is exactly what we have here. The awesome thing is when you spread like this, you can see all the markings from all these edges. When you're dealing, it's right along your thumb here. So now the second a spectator names their card, I just focus my eyes at the spot of wherever the suit is, and then I just look for the value. So I'd recommend either the Penguin mark deck, the Boris Wild mark deck, or any one that is, you know, quite legible. Whatever mark deck you have, figure out a system that's going to be easy for you. So if it's marked positionally by suit, that's great, because then you can ignore most of the cards that don't have a marking in that area. Or if they're all marked in the same spot, be looking for the suit marking first. So you ignore all the cards except for the ones that have the suit marking. So you identify, okay, heart, and then you quickly scan at the value. And that's probably the most efficient way I've found to do this, right? So if they have the markings all in one spot, I'm just looking at the heart, heart, heart. Oh, this one's a heart. Now I say, okay, what's the value quickly? Oh, it's an ace, ace of hearts, right? So that's how I would handle it. So you'll need to practice with your specific deck, of course, all right? What we're doing, you have the spectator shuffle, all right? And you say, now I'm gonna have you name any number, okay? But there's some scripting that we're gonna use, because obviously there's a chance that their number is gonna be well before we ever get to their card, right? And that is the one situation when why I say there's a little bit of risk, but it's so worth the payoff when this does hit, and it will hit most of the time because of the clever scripting we're going to use. When it doesn't hit, I will also show you the out that I use, all right, how to save the day. It's still a very clean any card, any number, even from the spectator's point of view, right? To them, it's no real difference anyway. So after the deck is returned, I like to explain, you know, the holy grail of card magic was called any card, any number. It's where any card is named, any number is named, we deal down and find that card. When I'm talking in this scripting, I also say, you know, the spectator would name any card and any number, and the magician would deal down to find the card at that number. Whether that's true or not in the Holy Grail case, by saying that, it's no suspicion that I'm going to be dealing the cards, which of course is the one thing that we need to happen for this any card, any number. I need to be dealing so I can implement the second deals when necessary. I first have them name any card, and when they say that, I immediately in my brain quickly process what I'm going to need to do. So if it's a club, I say, okay, I'm going to need to be looking up here for a club, and then if they say the 7, for example, I'll know that, okay, the number I'm looking out for is 7 in that area. Again, that's why I think the Boris Wildmark deck is the best for this trick, just because it's, you know, since it's broken up the suits by location, I know exactly where to look, and it saves me a lot of headache as I'm doing the dealing. Now, they've named their card. I process where I'm going to be looking and what I'm going to be looking for. If you think about what you're going to be looking for first, it's easy to just go through all the ones that don't match the picture or the image you're looking for, you're marking, right? The specific one you're looking for. Then I have them name a number, and here's where the clever linguistics come in. I say, all right, now I want you to name any number from 1 to 52, but keep in mind, this trick is very boring if you pick a small number, like 15, for example, because then it's like 1, 2, 3, 15, and the trick's over, and it's kind of not that exciting. So that clever line there will force them to at least pick above 15. Now realistically, I just said that the trick is boring when it's around 15. So I would almost guarantee that people are going to be picking upwards of 25 by this simple line. And if you want to, you could change that to 25, but I think 15 is that sweet spot where it still does feel like a low number and it would be over quickly. I could see you increasing it to 20, but I've always done 15. So you just say, keep in mind, this trick is very boring with a low number. No one's going to want it to be boring, especially if you have a bigger audience. They don't want it to be boring for everyone else, so they will listen, right? It's pretty inconspicuous. It's a simple instruction. It's well justified, so it doesn't raise any eyebrows. So you just say, now I want you to pick any number from 1 to 52, but keep in mind, if you pick a small number, this trick's fairly boring. Like if you pick 15, for example, it's like 1, 2, 3, 15, and you know, the trick's over. So it's not typically that exciting. So we want them to be forced to a higher number. In my experience, they will always guaranteed be in the 30s, and oftentimes you'll find them in the 40s, and that's the sweet spot. High 30s, low 40s is where I like them for this effect, because there's a very high chance we'll see the card and the trick will be perfect, but also we don't have to, you know, deal all the way to, you know, 48 or something like that. So that's the clever bit of scripting, and every time I've performed this, it's worked. The line has always got them in that range that I want. So I definitely recommend you use that line. Now, the technical part of this is you need to, of course, have your thumb in a spot that's not going to block the marking. So for me, my thumb would normally cover the club marking. So if I know I'm looking for club, I'm just going to move it down here slightly. If I'm looking for heart, I'm going to move it up here. So just, of course, make sure your thumb's in a position that won't block your marking. And now you're going to deal, but it's very important you deal in the same way that you would second deal. Now, I've practiced to match my fair deal to my second deal, right? These are all fairs, and then these are all seconds, right? So that rhythm doesn't change. So that you just want to make sure is the same. Now the problem is if you have a lot of rhythm, it's very hard to read those markings. So for me, I kind of tend to stay still and just do a little wrist flick like this when I'm doing my regular deals, and I can easily identify all the markings that I need to. If you want though, you can just kind of stay still as you do this, virtually still, and then just keep pretty still as you do your second deals, right? You just have to find that balance that works for you, but you just want to make sure your second deals match. We're going to be doing a face-up deal, grabbing from here and turning, because that's how I like the second deal. Now you could come and hit seconds like this if you prefer, but for me, I'm going to be coming in like this from the corner and flipping up this way. And then that's the exact same as my second deal is going to look as I come in and hit the seconds that's from the exposed angle, right? Some of the other things you really need to keep in mind while dealing. Go slow, okay? Slow while dealing will add suspense to the effect, right? The suspense that we talked about to the audience as to why they picked a bigger number. So I don't deal like this, right? Like I might in a different method for any card, any number when I want to pick up the pace. I'm just kind of dealing like this. I get everyone to count along with me, and we just go 3, 4, 5, 6. That gives me plenty of time, a good 2 seconds per card to identify and make my decision, right? And again, I already know exactly what I'm looking for, so it's going to stand out very obviously. Now, don't be afraid to take small pauses, right? 1, 2, 3. Let's say we go all the way up to 10, and you go 10. Nothing yet. We haven't seen it yet. 11, 12, 13, 14. About every 10, I like to slow down. 20, 21, 22, 23, right? So at every kind of, around every 10, I sort of either, you know, some things I say are, haven't seen it yet, that's a good sign, or I'll just pause, catch my breath almost. Whew, all right, let's keep going, you know, it's that sort of stuff. That gives you a chance to reset, slow down. If you ever misidentify a marking, kind of you're dealing and you just say, wait, we haven't seen it yet, right? Just to make sure, and you can pause, like you're going to grab it and you're like, shit, I misjudged that marking, and you just pause, you say, wait, we haven't seen it here yet, right? Just to be sure, you could say anything, right? And I keep going through, and I say, you know, keep dealing, and I was like, we haven't seen it yet, have we? No, nothing? Okay, perfect. And that actually was just something to say so I could get a better chance to reevaluate the marking. Now the big moment, the big justification, and the big moment that's important is when you do spot the card, what do you do? So we need to change the pacing, change the tempo, so that when we start second dealing again, if you have any minor discrepancies, it won't be obvious because it won't be switching from this into whatever your second deal looks like. We're gonna take a pause the second we see the card. So the line I always save for that moment is, what was the number you said again? I always ask them like I've forgotten or like I just want to confirm. So I'll be going through, and the second I see the card, I'll stop and I'll just say, what was the number you said again? And they'll tell me, and I said, okay, good. And then I come back and start second dealing. And that breakup in pacing is extremely important because any small discrepancy will now not be noticed by the fact that there was a slight pause. It gets their eyes up, they get looking at me again, and then we get into second dealing. And it creates a moment between your fair deals and your second deals that you know that you need to now start second dealing, and there's no question, you're second dealing for the rest of this, right? So as an example, if we're looking for the 10 of clubs, I'm going dealing through 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. My eyes are right at the 10 of clubs. I'm staring at my markings the whole time, but to them it just looks like I'm looking down at the cards. It doesn't look like I'm looking for anything. 24, 25. So let's say here, this one's the 6. It does look fairly similar to the 10. So let's say I paused here, I went to deal it, and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure what that one is, so I'm gonna stop. We haven't seen it yet, have we? No, okay, good. And now I make sure, oh, it's a 6, so I'll keep going. I don't know where we're at now, 27, say, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. And you see, even there, I just took a pause because I kind of missed it. I already had the card in my hand, but I paused, took a breath, checked, and if I didn't, I would just say, wait, what was the number you said again? And I might transfer back to that hand or something, right? It's not a big deal. You just kind of, if something goes wrong, you just slow down, reset, and keep going. Keep dealing through the last ones. We still haven't seen it yet, so obviously the 10 was not in a great position. I've just seen it, so I stop and I say, what was the number you said again? They'll say, I don't know, 46 or whatever in this case, so it'd be like this. What was the number you said again? And that's how quickly it all happens, right? I'm dealing through 40, 41, 42. What was the number you said again? Okay, so 46 or whatever it is, and now you go 44, it's the exact same, 45, but now I'm hitting second deals, and 46, I cleanly take that card off the top, set it aside. I like to spread and show it's no longer here, and then build up the reveal to the 10 of clubs. So that is the basic method, guys. That is mostly what I have to say and cover on this. Just the big things to keep in mind is your pacing when you're dealing. You don't need to rush it, take it slow. Know what you're looking for beforehand. Pick out that spot on the card and just stare at it, and then take your time. You know, if you need to pause, catch your breath, keep going. You haven't seen it here yet, have we? What was the card again? Yeah, okay, 10 of clubs, right? What was the number you said again? We have all these little lines that you can throw in to pause if something goes wrong, right? Don't panic if you get to a marking and you kind of hesitate and you're like, just stop. Ask them a simple question. What was the card you said again? What was the number you said again? We haven't seen it here yet, have we? Just take a breath. Whew. Been dealing for a while. All right, let's keep going. Right, anything, just say something and it'll seem totally justified. So the out for this effect I think is still very clean, and especially for a layman, looks just equally as clean. So let's say we're going through the cards and I don't know, we're maybe about halfway through or about 26. They said 30, 27, 28, 29, and we haven't seen the Jack of Hearts yet. Perfect. So 29, 30, and I haven't seen the Jack of Hearts. I look at my marking, I know this card was not the Jack of Hearts. We didn't get the perfect scenario, unfortunately. So I stop, and I say, all right, so this is the 30th card. Now, we haven't seen it here yet, but I just want to see how you did. Now I flip it over. Now, of course, it could be right there. Never happened to me. You could peek the bottom card before getting into it just to know. And then you could maybe even implement a bottom deal that way as another out if the card they name happens to be on the bottom, but I don't even bother doing that. I flip it over, I tell them I want to see how they did. Now we're going to use the auto index. Okay, if you haven't seen the auto index, go check out that video. Super awesome, super versatile. In this case, we're going to be using it not only to index their card, but to show them that their card is not in this spread. So what you do, you spread it slightly towards yourself, and again, go check out the video to get this in full detail. But what you do is as you turn this over and you say, all right, I just want to see how you did here. And you spread to yourself, a good handful of cards, maybe 10 cards or so. And if it's not there and you say, look, all right, not here. And then as you close, you don't even come all the way to yourself. You just tilt it to their eye line so they can't see the cards you see. With the rhythm that you're gonna do this in, to them it feels like they've seen every card the whole time. So now I just close up and I'm re-spreading slightly towards myself. And now I've just spotted the Jack of Hearts. So now I'm gonna cover it up in the spread and get ready to cull it out at the same time. So how that looks. So I spread the first time, it's not here. And I come back up, I'll show you guys exposed. I see it. The second I spot it, your eyes are at the front edge here, seeing the new cards that come into view. So the second you see it, you just come back down. All I do, I just go like this and I come down. Then I pull it underneath the spread and I'm gonna close up now because there's still a few cards that are hidden. And you don't wanna reveal what that top card is, obviously. So you have to time this so that you stop without revealing the top chunk of cards. You close up, sliding their card to the top, and it gives this beautiful illusion that that card never changed. You thumb off that one, you say, but that is the 30th card. And as long as those last few weren't it, then we should be good, the Jack of Hearts. So again, let me show you. So I say, all right, and the 30th card, well, that should be your card. Let's see here. I just want to see how you did, see if we're on the right track. Whew, all right, no Jack of Hearts there. All right, nothing there. So as long as the 30th card should be the Jack of Hearts. As long as none of those are the Jack of Hearts, then we should be golden. So again, all I do there is I spread the first bunch. If it's not there, I come into view and I say nothing there. Spread the second bunch, then I spot it. And as I come down, I block it out of view by just pushing this card over top. And then I can take all the time in the world to cull that out, right? Cull it underneath. And I say perfect. So that 30th card should be the Jack of Hearts as long as it's none of these, and then I spread showing that last few that we haven't seen at the top and all the rest very cleanly, and we have the Jack of Hearts. So if it's closer to the top in this situation, you just execute the cover-up move earlier. So you say, as long as it's not here, all right, I've spotted it, and I'm just going to cover it as I come down the first time. And then I can just push over, and I say here, 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 here. None of these ones. Now I do it like I just show cleanly from now, and I just go through, again, stopping when there's still a chunk of cards near the top as to not reveal that top card. And I say, perfect. So that should be the 30th card, the Jack of Hearts, as long as it's none of those ones. Okay, good sign. We should have the Jack of Hearts, right? So that's the out. Again, you're always going to be in that situation, and the nice thing is if you can force them to pick a high number using those nice linguistics, you're always going to have a very small packet to sift through to find their card. So you're always going to find it within that first spread, and sometimes you'll need a second spread, but very rarely. Even if you have almost the whole deck, there's only like 7 cards there, and I'll shuffle it up so I don't know. It's the same principle. You say, all right, so that should be the Jack of Hearts as long as it's not here. All right, no Jack of Hearts there. That's a good sign. As long as it's not here, okay, perfect, looking good, looking good. As long as it's not there, whew, then that card, the 10th card, as long as it's not the last few, all right, looking good, should be the Jack of Hearts. So the justification is that we're just looking through to just see how we did. It also helps add suspense, right? It's totally justified. And then as we turn it over, we take it off and we just say, so it's good as long as it's not those last few, because remember, we kept those last few hidden from view. We didn't go through every single card in this position because it kind of is anticlimactic. It would ruin the climax, right? So that's the out that I always use, and it works perfectly. So that is the effect, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Looking now, this video is like 45 minutes long of raw footage. I talk so much. Let me know below, guys, if you enjoy these long videos. I mean, I feel like I give a lot of detail and ideas, and that's generally why I talk so long. But I mean, I hope I can cut this down to under 20 minutes because I don't feel like it needs to be that this long. But all my videos are like damn 45 minutes, and then I gotta edit them for like 5 hours to cut everything down. I hope you guys like the amount of detail I put in. So if you like the longer videos, let me know. If not, let me know, and I'll try to do my best to cut them down a little bit. So hope you guys enjoy MARCAAN. I think it's a great practical any card, any number, especially if you have a marked deck. Super clean from, you know, the audience's perspective and everything. I love, you know, that they can shuffle the deck. If I was doing this with a group, I'd hand out the deck to all kinds of different people so everyone really gets to shuffle it and leave it in a bit of a chaotic mess up until the last moment of the dealing. Taught a few of these on the channel. I love ACAAN, my sleight of hand, any card, any number. That one is the extremely practical for a regular deck of cards. If you don't have your marked deck, I would highly recommend that one. Again, no stack, no memory, nothing like that. And they both have their time and their place and their benefits. I've also taught one that does use a bit of a stack that you can also check out. And it's very clean, but it's, you know, again, it's a time and a place sort of thing. I don't often find myself doing that one anymore much, because I can just do these from a regular shuffle deck and the effect is the same to the spectator. Just a reminder, you guys, we have the new shirts. This is one of the new ones. As you can see, it fits wonderfully. Great material and very durable. Like everything's holding up great. We got the new hats too. If you want to check out the website, please do. You can go check out some private lessons as well. I offer those to help improve your magic mentalism and really anything else you want to go over. So check those out because they're a great way to help you improve your magic. Sitting down to film a bunch of videos again. I got a lot of great new stuff in the works. We are in the process of filming Behind the Screens episode 4. Man, if you haven't seen the first ones, you guys have to check those out. They're some of my favorite videos on the channel. I do elaborate Omegle magic and then show you the behind the scenes of how we did everything. Super fun, really entertaining. So part 4 is some of the best tricks yet, and it's absolutely insane. So I can't wait for you guys to see that. Coming soon. I got a bunch of new street magic and gigging performances, brand new audiences coming, new tricks, all that sort of great stuff. I'm gonna head out to film more this week, so can't wait for that. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this effect, what you thought of this video. I want to thank all the new subs. Really appreciate it. The channel's been growing great lately. I mean, the shorts seem to really be working. I've been working hard on those shorts, trying to put out a short every day that I don't post a long form video. And it seems to really be helping grow the channel. So I'm going to keep that up. They're not always for you guys. I know you guys, you've watched the long form videos, so you've probably seen a lot of the stuff going on in the shorts, but they're just more to get my content out to a larger audience. YouTube's really pushing shorts now, so that's kind of the goal of the shorts. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.